Hello and welcome to Release the Healing Within. This is Dr. Stan Schulte with Schulte Chiropractic Wellness Center. We're just 2 blocks north of 84th and Holdridge here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Our goal here today is to give you hope, to educate you, to empower you, and to equip you with the truth regarding one of the most important assets that you have, your health. You deserve to live your life to its fullest. You don't have to be a victim of your health anymore. Make the decision. We're here to help you. Freedom is here.
Welcome back to the program, Release the Healing Within with Dr. Stan Schulte of Schulte Chiropractic Wellness Center. Again, the first 5 people that are calling that number, 402-420-0024, will receive that amazing opportunity to get that initial examination at a wonderful cost, normally $195 down to $30. But only the first 5 people. The office has been very, very busy. We don't want to turn people away, so we want to make sure that we give everyone an opportunity to take advantage of that. So call that number if something we talk about today, especially with our conversation on cancer, really strikes you, 402-420-0024. Dr. Stan, as we talk about cancer, I guess one question that people may have is what is needed for a healthy cell and a cancerous cell? Kind of talk about the differences a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, that's a critical understanding to have. So number one, now we know that all of us have cancer cells within us. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of let's find out what causes that. And this is critical. If you're taking notes, I'm the type when I listen to information on the radio or conference calls, I'm always taking notes. So this would be where I would start taking notes.
There you go. Get the paper out.
Yeah. So the cause of cancer, and really all disease, not just cancer in particular, it's simple. It's when the cells become either, number one, toxic, or they become deficient, or they have a decrease in function. And again, that's where the nervous system comes into play. That's what controls everything in the body. That's where every day in our office we're looking for interferences there. That's number one, regardless of what approach you take to your health in any direction. That nervous system has to be functioning for you to get the maximum benefit. But it comes down to when those cells are either toxic or deficient. And so let's talk about first what a healthy cell is. It's really important to gain an understanding there first. 4 things that are required for a healthy cell. Number one is oxygen. So they use oxygen for fuel. Really important that we're getting that oxygen supply to that cell. Number 2 is they don't use sugar for fuel. Sugar is not used at all in a healthy cell, and it's actually detrimental to that cell. Number 3, it lives in a slightly alkaline environment. That's one thing we did these past 2 weeks here is we did pH testing on all our patients to find out how alkaline or how acidic your body is. Cancer thrives in an acidic environment, and I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. So lives in a slightly alkaline environment for a healthy cell. And number 4, it needs proper nerve supply. So we talked about that. So that's a healthy cell requirement. Cancer uses sugar for fuel. So every time we're eating sugar, which is in nearly everything that we're putting in our bodies.
Grains, pastas, breads.
Exactly. Cereal,
candy.
Pop, all that stuff. You're feeding that cancer cell. It does not use oxygen for fuel. So I'm thinking that most of you can kind of realize that that's where the exercise comes into play. That oxygen capacity that we can get to those cells is huge for our health. Number 3, again, cancer lives in an acidic environment. So that's anything below 7. To fight off cancer, it's really that 7.2 range, right around there is where we want to be. And number 4, it doesn't need proper nerve supply. So all those things that are required are not required for a cancer cell, which allows it to kind of do its own thing. It actually has its own blood supply, and it again, can be very, very detrimental to the health. So when we're talking about acidity and alkalinity, it's pretty obvious. We kind of named a few of those things. Things that are acidic are obviously like the cereals, the grains, the pops, juices. A lot of times I'll have new families come in and I don't call them out on it, but it's important to gain an understanding that most of the juices that you're drinking in the morning, the apple juice and orange juice, is really not healthy for you, and that it's so much sugar in there. So you're just feeding those cells to become cancerous in essence. And again, alkalinity, what we want in our bodies are those raw fruits and vegetables in particular. So if we get an understanding of that, the next thing I want to talk about are symptoms. So cancer, this would be probably the one thing to write down, is that cancer is not the problem. Cancer is a symptom of the problem. And I'll say that one more time. Cancer is not the problem. Cancer is the symptom of the problem.
Sounds like a bold statement compared to what we're already taught
Exactly.
by the medical world.
Right. And the understanding of that is that the problem is a sick body and sick cells. That's what causes the cancer. So your body is not messing up. And that's a really important thing to understand too with symptoms in general, is that whenever we have a symptom, whether it's cancer or a headache or neck pain or back pain or digestive issues, that's your body responding appropriately at the right time. Your body is always striving to help you the best way it can and to respond appropriately. And so there's an analogy I want to give here just to show, hopefully in essence, that it's the body doing the right thing. It's an analogy. Let's say that all of us are in a hotel room and we go in there and someone turns off all the lights, closes all the doors and locks them and starts a fire in that room. How do you think your body is going to respond?
Panic mode.
Panic mode, yep, that fight or flight response, and that's doing what it's supposed to do. It's in a mode of, I have to survive here. What do we have to do? As a result, there are some things physiologically that occur in the body. What do you think might happen in your body? Like,
yeah, you start breathing
You
like
start
crazy,
breathing.
bringing in more oxygen.
Exactly.
Your heart rate goes up.
Exactly.
I noticed that sometimes, if you're in that mode, your senses, like you seem like your eyes are wide open and you're just very, very on edge.
Exactly. And that's your body, again, responding appropriately. So you get the increased blood pressure, you get the increased heart rate, your cholesterol raises. And the reason for that is cholesterol is there for wound clotting. And that fight or flight response, if we go back to way back when we were being chased by tigers, you need to have that cholesterol there to heal that cut as soon as you possibly can. So cholesterol, we talk about good and bad cholesterol, it's there for a reason. And if you're in a stressful environment, which so many of us are on a day-to-day basis, we're more stressed than we've ever been. If our body's telling us, let's increase that cholesterol, that's appropriate. The problem is if we get in there and artificially decrease that with a medication, yes, in an extreme emergency case, you can do that if that's going to help you survive. But the next day, you should be saying, how do I change my environment? What changes do I need to make in order to get that back to a healthy level? So that raises cortisol levels raise. In turn, some of the things that decrease, your digestion decreases. Because if you're going to die, your body doesn't care if you're absorbing
We don't need to
nutrients.
bring in anything. We're in a different mode right now.
And the same thing with the immune function. Your immune system doesn't need to be functioning high because you're just in survival mode. It doesn't matter if you can fight off an infection for a long time. It just needs to survive. And so as a result, cancer is definitely an immune function issue, and that's decreased as well. So here's what I'm saying with that is, let's say we took all of your blood levels before we went into that room and they were all normal. You go in, we start the fire, and then you come out right away and we take your blood levels there. What do you think we'll see?
Well, we'll probably see higher cholesterol levels.
Exactly.
Probably higher hormones of some kind, like you said, cortisol, stress hormones. Those would be up as well, I would say.
Yeah. So those are all up. And is that the body, if you just independently looked at that, if you're taking the medical approach, they would say, wow, your cortisol levels are high, your cholesterol is high, your blood pressure's high. Let's put you on this medication. Let's put you on this medication and this medication, and not really have that understanding of why is the body responding the way it is. And really the quality of the questions that you ask in your life about your life determine that. It determines the quality of your life, the quality of the questions that you ask. And that's what we need to really start asking in healthcare is, why is that happening? So for example, blood pressure, why is that blood pressure increased? Well, the blood pressure is there because we need to get oxygen to the cells. And that blood has to be pumping faster to get the oxygen there quicker and quicker because you're needing that to survive. And so it's responding in the right way. Again, if we artificially decrease that, then that's where we run into the real problems. Because number one, you're going to not allow the body to respond in its appropriate, the appropriate way that it should. And number two, all medications, and any medical doctor will agree with this, that they're toxins to the body. You're trying to artificially change the biochemistry in that body. And you can do that with these, but again, they're toxins. And we're going to get into that probably on the next show here, maybe in this last segment, that toxins play a key role in that as well. So hopefully that gives you an understanding of symptoms. And I have one more analogy, but we'll probably hit that on the other side.
Well, I tell you one thing, if you want to experience that fight or flight, this is the time of year to do it. A lot of haunted houses out there. You want to feel your heartbeat. You want to like start breathing heavily and put yourself in that mode.
Right.
That's the way to do it right there to get an understanding. Maybe that kind of helps you understand, oh, that's what happens.
Exactly.
But 402-420-0024, that's the number to call. 5 appointments open for that $30 offer, normally $195, as we're talking about cancer today. We've all been affected by it in some way, shape, or form. If you haven't, you're in the minority the way things are looking now with the statistics. So call that number and find out where is your health, where is your function, and make sure it's on the right path. We're going to take one final break, be back with more with one quick segment. Stay close. Final segment of the program today with Dr. Stan Schulte of Schulte Chiropractic Wellness Center. We talk about cancer. We've been throwing out that number for the first 5 people that call. Take advantage of that wonderful offer that you can get the whole family checked at an amazing price, but only $30 per person, 402-420-0024. And as we wrap up, Dr. Stan, I guess the question is, what can your office do to help those that have been diagnosed with cancer? What can your office do that the medical system isn't doing?
Okay. Yeah, we do a lot, and that's why I absolutely love what I do. That's why I love going into work every day, because we're seeing lives transformed. And when we're talking about cancer, it's really important for me to say, I'm not claiming that I can cure cancer. I'm claiming, though, that if we can get your body to heal the way it was designed to, put the proper things, give those cells that proper nutrition, give the body the proper oxygen, get rid of those toxins, get that nervous system functioning appropriately, that's where we see massive change. And we have seen hundreds and hundreds of people reverse their own cancer around the country within the Maximize Living offices that we have. And that's because your body has that inborn ability to heal. And every case is different. So what we do in our office is we deal with what are known as the 5 essentials. And every single patient that walks in our door, we not only clear that nervous system out, which again is that master system in the body. That's what we do on this first visit. So for those of you who are calling in and taking advantage of that, we're going to check the nervous system. We're going to find out how that master system is functioning. We're going to educate you on nutrition, decreasing stress, exercise. We have programs that are getting amazing results. People are losing hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and decrease toxins in the body. So it's not just getting you out of pain, it's getting you and your family, again, as healthy as possible. It's amazing how your life can completely change, and you can transform the lives of those around you when you get your body to heal, and that's why we're here.
402-420-0024. It sounds like it's a complicated thing, but when you break it down, it makes a lot of sense. Call that number, make that appointment, get the family checked, make sure you are on the right path. Dr. Stan, how about next week we continue our conversation? A lot to talk about.
Sounds great.
All right. Until then, everyone, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time on Release the Healing Within with Dr. Stan Schulte of Schulte Chiropractic Wellness Center.